I'm still completely alone. I think I think I am still. I even looked at the one view that I had yesterday, and I was like, oh, okay, one person listened to me. But I went and looked at the analytics, and it was only 17 seconds. So I really am by myself. Like, I am uploading this, and I'm like, you know, it's crazy. It's just up and down, up and down, up and down. And ever since that first month of September or whatever, where I got like that 30,000 views, I'm like, yeah, this is not there's not people listening anymore, or whatever, or it's not the way it is. It's just, it's slowed down. And I guess I'm slowly accepting that, and I'm like, yeah, I am by myself. So with that being said, you know, I'm talking to myself right now, and there's really not a possibility that I'm gonna be heard by anybody. So what do I want to do with this information? Does that suck? Do I not like that? I said that I don't like feeling isolated, but you know, here I am. Like, she's not even listening either. Like, okay. I still have this feeling that maybe somebody's gonna listen to this, but I don't know. I didn't make any shorts yesterday. I didn't fucking feel like it. So I'm like, what do I want to talk about? What am I going through? Well, I guess, you know, I want to talk to my therapist about it and just talk to him about, like, my disconnection, like my coping mechanism. Because I don't know, even last night I got sad. I was just thinking about, yeah, how I'm not going to be with her. Like, I was just really thinking about it. And I'm like, and that's the hard part. I'm like, damn, I don't even feel like opening up anymore. Like, I don't feel like talking. I don't feel like doing anything. Watching that Stutz Therapy fucking documentary, you know, motivation to take care of my physical health, motivation to just be alive. I still don't feel like I want to die or anything. Like, I don't feel that. I don't feel like I want to commit suicide, like I said. Like, I don't fucking feel this. But it's just like, there's just this. And I'm like, why is that? Like, why is that? And then also, I watched this YouTube video a couple days ago. Oh God, it was like last week, actually. It was about happiness. And like, the number one thing that happiness comes from is like good relationships, right? And I'm like, maybe I just made a mistake. Like, maybe me and her just really made a mistake because we just didn't match up on that. All because of a misunderstanding. She didn't understand me. She didn't understand what I was, who I was, actually. I thought I explained it. I thought I made sense. But I guess I didn't. And now here we are in this unbelievable, painful entanglement. I had no motivation to make any YouTube shorts yesterday. I don't want to make YouTube shorts. I don't feel like I want a bunch of views. I do feel this, I'm getting lost more and more every single day or something until I eventually completely collapse, like, or something. I don't know. I hope that doesn't happen, but I'm not sure. I have a feeling that it won't. Like, I have a feeling that it won't happen, but everything's unpredictable, so I don't know. I keep saying secretly, oh, I want that to happen, so I guess it's the easy way out, just to completely snap and lose my mind and exile myself from everything. Like, it's easy to do that. I don't feel like I want to do that. I like a challenge. I want to push myself. And yes, I always keep asking myself, like, why do I want to do that? What's the point? Like, why do I want to push myself? Why do I want to challenge myself. And even this Stutz fucking, again, going back to that, it's like, oh, part X, right? This whole concept of this negative voice in your head that tells you you ain't shit, right? I have to overcome this villain. I have to overcome my part X, you know, and if there is no part X, if there is no villain, there is no thing putting me down, there is no thing that I'm trying to overcome, then there's no growth. But I'm like, for what? Like, grow for what, honestly? I'm not saying that I'm giving up or whatever. Like, this is not a give up speech. This is not a fuck it all, I'm gonna blow my brains out speech. Like, I don't feel that. It's just, I'm really just asking questions again. I really just am stuck in that asking questions, trying to understand where I stand in life. Because right now I don't know. I don't know where I stand. I don't know what I'm doing. And every single day I keep waking up and I'm saying that to myself, that I don't know and I don't know and I don't know. And it's making me depressed. You know, at the same time, I'm starting to slowly accept my realities, that I really just, I don't know the answer to a lot of shit. This is not an overnight process. It's an everyday for the rest of my life process. Again, I still have this feeling that, damn, maybe I'll figure something out. You know, not everything, but like at least something. And I guess I'm looking for something to fall back on. I just don't have it right now. Like, I don't have this fall back on something. And I don't know if I ever will. And it's just, that sucks too, because I do want it. I feel like I really want this, something that's going to keep me like above water. So, well, that has to be your... I'm like, you know what? Everybody, everything, motivational stuff, words of advice from all these people that have their own lives and are trying to figure it out. I have to figure it out on my own. I really do. Well, if that doesn't work for you, I'm back on social media. I'm looking at TikToks and YouTube shorts and just YouTube videos, hearing other people's opinions again, hearing how other people are going through life, or just talking about other people that are going through life, like Abba and Preach. I'm listening to a lot of that. I'm listening to this Sunny V person. A lot of commentary channels about the downfall of society, the downfall of goddamn other YouTube channels, the downfall. And I even thought about an ironic joke. You know, I thought that was funny. I was like, oh, how about the downfall of the downfall channels? You know, maybe those fucking videos won't be popular anymore. And I just find myself in a sea of complete uncertainty all the time. And fuck, man. You know, and again, today, I talked to my coworker. One of my coworkers got fucking fired yesterday, and I was talking to him, trying to give him pieces of advice that I feel like I would want to hear if I was in some type of distress, right? So right now, I feel like, every single day, I feel like I am in some type of distress, and I'm going through whatever it is that I'm going through. So I'm like, what pieces of advice would I like to give myself today? How would I like to talk to myself, just like I talk to my coworker / friend, you know? Because I told him that, hey, dude, just, you know, don't try to overthink. Don't try to think about your situation too goddamn much. Yes, those thoughts are going to come up. Yes, it's going to happen. But really just try to take care of your physical health. And I was taking things away from the therapy session documentary Stutz. Like, I was thinking about that because I feel like there are a lot of good things. There are a lot of good tools inside of that documentary. I've listened to it or watched it almost 3 times now, trying to just, you know, absorb it, understand it, see if I can have it help me. Of course, I still have questions, because even this Phil Stutz person, he's not Messiah. He doesn't know the answers to everything. He's struggling just like everybody else, and that's even what Jonah Hill ended up pointing out. He's not the answer. Not one single person is the answer to all your problems. Not one single solution is the answer to all your problems. There's so many different problems in life and so many different solutions that you need to end up finding, and so many processes of going through to find solutions for all your problems. Like, there's so many things to do. There's so many things to deal with, and it's very overwhelming, extremely overwhelming. And I do feel overwhelmed. I do feel very panicky. I do feel very scared. I feel very small. I feel very sad. I feel very depressed, or I guess, I have been finally, like, going to sleep on time. I feel like I've been eating good. Like, I ate good yesterday, except the salad dressing, I think, had fucking soy in it, so I'm, like, allergic to that. And the other thing is, like, even right now, I'm like, I'm ranting and raving about shit that nobody gives a fuck about. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit about what I'm saying. Because I do think about it, I'm like, if somebody else was talking this kind of way in their life, right? But I mean, it's just a matter of relatability. I have listened to people just ramble on YouTube, and sometimes they're extremely relatable, and sometimes they're not. The algorithm's not really reaching anybody. Nobody's listening to me all the way through, because I am very incoherent sometimes. I don't have structure to my videos, because I do treat these videos as little therapy sessions. They're like mini therapy sessions before I get to my first stop, right? So they're not like topics. And I know I feel like I'm repeating myself at this point, and I can't believe I've almost made like 100 of these. And I'm like, where do I want to go from here? Is this what I want to keep doing? Do I eventually want to push into the next level of something? But I'm like, why? For what? I feel like every single day I am pushing into some different layer of myself. I don't necessarily feel like I want to switch up the structure of my video right now, or even the content. I don't feel like I want to do that necessarily. But there is this pressure that I feel that I'm putting on myself, that I feel like, yeah, I do want to evolve. I do want to change. I do want to, like, stop making these videos. I want to do something different, but I don't know what that is. I don't know what that means. Do something different in what way, and for what? Like, why do I want to do that? Is it because I'm simply getting bored of this, or this simply isn't serving me anymore in the way that it was? I need to switch it up in a way that's going to serve me better. But I don't know what that means. Serve me. Like, I feel like it is helping me to still listen to myself, still go through all of these thoughts, listen, hear, think. Like, I still feel like there is use behind these videos that I'm making for myself. Yeah, and even Stutz said that. Like, he had a feeling. He was like, I feel like all these tools and everything, it's not going to reach deep enough into the culture. And there is another part of myself, like, I do think about Part X, like, this part of myself that constantly keeps putting me down. Like, I think about how even what Stutz was saying, even his tools, even his way of psychology and being a therapist and therapy, like, there's something missing for me. And I'm like, I want to go change that. I want to go make my own tools. I want to go help people that I feel like Stutz can't help, because he has helped me, and he's not going to be able to help everybody. But I guess his method of shut the fuck up and do what I tell you, and again, I understand his whole thing, and he's more joking, but there is this, yeah, you got to do it. You just got to get up. You have to have an unwilling, like, unstoppable force to keep moving forward. I'm like, well, how do you develop that? How do I give a shit about my life force. And I'm like, oh, I have to explain all. I'm like, go watch the fucking documentary and you know what the fuck I'm talking about if there's anybody listening to this goddamn thing. And you'll know what I mean. But how am I supposed to, like, better my life force? Or find the motivation to do so? It's like, well, everybody can do that. Like, you just got to start there. And I'm like, well, okay. Maybe that's not where I need to start. You know, maybe that's not where I need to start. But maybe I'm just questioning things because they're not working as fast as I would like them to. Because I do have an extreme level of impatience because, Jesus, like, I can't get out of these feelings. You know, and I hate it. Like, I hate how stuck I feel still. I hate how far I feel that I'm inside of this depression. Like, I want to get out. I want to get out so badly. I want to find a method. I want to talk out all of these problems faster. I feel the suffocating weight of all this overwhelming shit. Like, I feel that I can't breathe sometimes. I feel the panic. And I want to get rid of these feelings. I want them to stop. I want them to go away. And now I understand why drugs are so appealing. I understand why just alcohol and just complete distraction of everything is just so appealing. Because life feels too painful to deal with. And even Stutz said that about his own mother. His own mother would just read a book because life is too painful. I don't want to deal with life. I just want to deal with this book and what's going on there. That's why I feel like there's an addiction to movies. There's an addiction to just addiction. And I feel like that's the crazy thing about addiction, actually. The root of all addictions. Whatever. I'm not a goddamn psychologist. I don't know. It's my own opinion, right? And this is not pseudoscience either that I'm trying to preach. But I just feel like the root of all addictions as well, like there's just so much pain and uncertainty and constant work that I have a hard time dealing with the fact that this is what I have to deal with. I don't want to deal with all the pain. I don't want to deal with all the uncertainty. I don't want to deal with this constant work that I have to keep going through. I don't want to deal with it. And you know what? Like, I guess even right now, I'm like, this video makes sense to only me. And there's going to be parts in here that I feel like aren't going to make sense to other people. And I'm going to be misunderstood, or people are going to click off, and people aren't going to give a shit about what I'm saying. And that's something I want to let go of, because it feels really good to actually just talk to myself and be like, this makes sense to me. I don't need it to make sense to anybody else. I don't want anybody else to really understand me all the way. I'm like, you might understand me. There might be parts of me that you end up getting, but not everything. And I don't want you to get everything. If again, anybody's listening, I don't want everybody to completely understand what I'm going through. You can't, simply. It's not possible for you to understand what the fuck I'm going through. So, I mean, again, I just want to talk to myself. And yeah, it's like, life is too painful. I understand, like, addiction. I understand, like, I just saw a guy smoking a cigarette right now. Like the everyday struggles of life, yeah. Like, it's crazy. Life just ticks by. Life just keeps going. And you try to find a way to deal with it, whether it's exercise, whether it's eating food, whether it's playing video games, whether it's watching movies, whether it's just straight up doing drugs, whether it's being in a relationship and trying to be with your goddamn partner and just have sex, or just be in love and always be constantly around somebody. You know, there's constant ways of dealing with the stresses of life. And I feel like all of a sudden, every single method, like even trying to be in love, that doesn't feel right to me. That feels like the biggest distraction of them all from the pains of life. And I think I was talking to my girlfriend about that a lot of people have distractions from existence. And she brought up, like, people get so absolved in their careers and all this shit and all that whatever, right? But I'm like, people get so absolved in having relationships as well, and trying to build and have good developed relationships. And we all paint that as that's a good thing. Everybody wants to be in a relationship. Everybody wants to feel like they're surrounded by people that love them. And this is a good thing. Even that happiness study, out of all these people, everybody was like, the root of happiness is to have good relationships with people that you love. And everything else is mute. Money's not going to make you happy. Materialistic fucking things aren't going to make you happy. A career with lots of money isn't going to make you happy. Being isolated isn't going to make you happy. Doing drugs and having a bunch of sex and chasing all your hedonistic fucking desires is not going to make you happy. Having good, healthy, developed relationships is the root of human happiness. But why do I feel like I'm even questioning that at this point? Is that the thing that's actually going to solve all my problems, is just try to develop good relationships with people? What is the definition of a good, healthy relationship? And is it possible to have good, healthy relationships with people? And do I have to develop a new definition of good, healthy relationship? Because maybe whatever it is that I actually want out of a relationship is not the right way to live. Because I want this full transparency. I don't want surface level bullshit interactions. I don't want people around me that say they love me, but they can't actually hear what the fuck I gotta say about what's actually going on with me. You know, like, this is not what I want out of life. So I'm like, if these are the relationships that I want to develop, I don't fuck with it. And even Jonah Hill, inside of that Stutz documentary, he said, like, you have to be completely vulnerable. Like, this is the way you need to do it in a romantic relationship. Well, what about man and women dynamics? How do they actually work? You know? Because I'm attracted to women. And this is just me in particular. But I guess I can still talk in general and across the whole spectrum of relationships. It doesn't matter whether it's friendships, relationships, mother-daughter, father-son, father-daughter, mother-son, whatever. It doesn't even matter. Gay, straight, lesbian, transsexual, like whatever. It doesn't matter what relationship. Relationships are hard. Like, all relationships are very hard. And it's hard to maintain them. It's hard to develop good relationships with people because a lot of people are scared of being vulnerable. A lot of people don't know when to be vulnerable. A lot of people don't understand when's the right time to be honest. Can I be honest? Do I need to say that? I'm having the same problem. I'm like, let me speak for me. I'm like, I'm having the same problem. I'm like, when do I be honest with my girlfriend? When do I say something that actually is, you know, real? When do I open up about something? When do I end up, like, actually speaking my mind? Is this all right? Well, I'm afraid of her rejecting me. And I feel like, again, I've said this before, the root of all dishonesty is a fear of rejection. Everybody lies. I even saw that, Jordan Peterson. Somebody asked him that question. Do you lie? And instead of just directly saying, yes, I do, he said, everybody lies. And I'm like, it was an interesting defense mechanism. I'm like, why couldn't you just say, yes, I do? He says, well, I'm very careful with it, though. I'm like, well, that's Jordan Peterson, right? You know, and what's the definition of lying? Is the definition of lying like, listen, I cheated on my spouse, but I didn't tell her, right? Is that lying? Is withholding information lying? Well, I don't know. I'm withholding, because there's a big difference, right? It's like, well, you don't need to tell her everything. I'm like, or you don't need to tell him everything. But, okay, well, what if I'm cheating on her? Do I need to tell her that? Well, yeah, you need to tell her that. But I'm like, okay, so where's the determining factor of what to tell and what not to tell? And when to say something? And it's all about balance. But you know what the fucking problem is? It's all about balance. It's all about balance. There's no perfect balance. You know, and that's the thing. You're going to be constantly unbalanced. I'm trying to, you know, balance all this chaos. Like, it's not really possible. Like, I kind of want to just, everybody likes to say go with the flow as well. Okay, I guess I'm trying to do that. But in my own way that makes sense to me, not just the mainstream idea of go with the flow. I'm like, I'm not a sheep either. Like, I don't want to just follow the something. I like to question. I like to ask questions all the fucking time. I like to ask why to 10 million different fucking things. And that's what I end up doing, and that's what I want to do. I don't want to just sit there and act like, okay, yeah, I know what the fuck is going on. No, I don't. Oh yeah, just go with the flow. Like, I don't want to do that. Why do I need to do that? Maybe that's not the right way. But that's, again, another, I guess, problem that I have is I'm trying to find the right way. The right way, the right way. What's the right way to live life? I thought I knew. Because I've never felt this strange before. I said that a while ago, like, oh, I've never felt this strange before in my life. I made a YouTube short out of it. I'm like, yeah, again, here I am again. Completely different stage of my life. Everything feels different. The trees, my environment. Like, this is all the same shit. I'm doing the same shit. I go to the same location every day. I go to the same goddamn apartment. But I don't go to my same mind anymore. I don't have my same brain anymore. So I look at everything differently almost every single day at this point. There's always a dramatic change of some sort. It's nothing super crazy, but like I just don't feel the same like I did yesterday. I don't. Today I feel different. And tomorrow I'm going to feel different. And the next day until I die. Like and then there's always this promise that I had when I was growing up that, yeah, one day you're just going to know. And you're going to feel good with the sameness of everyday life. I'm like, well, I don't. I feel uncertain. I don't know what I'm doing. I want to, like, so desperately. And I'm getting hot because I can't just stop repeating myself. I have to constantly keep talking. Reset for a second. I'm not even sure half the shit I said. I'm like, and that's true too. Here's another thing. I don't have good memory. All the things that I even said yesterday, I don't have good memory. I realized that the defense mechanism in my brain completely dumps information because I'm already overloaded. I'm completely overloaded. I'm overloaded with my emotions. I'm overloaded with everyday life. I'm overloaded with all the stresses of life. I'm overloaded. So I'm not taking in new information very well. I don't want to really do anything. I feel very lazy and lethargic. I want to exercise tonight. I do. I slept good again, or I feel like I slept good. I still feel a little tired or whatever. But every day there's going to be a turd. Every day it's not going to be perfect. Every day there's going to be a little turd in it. I can't make it perfect. I just can't. I can't find perfection in anything. Nothing feels perfect. Well, I wish something was. I wish something was perfect somewhere. But I can't find it. Nothing's gonna be perfect. Yeah, and also the shadow, the shadow self. I'm like, what's my shadow? What am I most ashamed about? I don't necessarily I feel like there's so many different aspects of shame that I have. There's not just one thing. Because Jonah Hill had this cutout of himself when he was like 14, overweight, acne-covered fucking face, undesirable to the world. Like, that's how he felt, right? And I'm like, what's my shadow? What does he look like? It's a good question. I don't have one main picture, right? And I guess there's also, like, I can't put all of my shame all into one big mass that I can talk to. It's such a big, humongous combination of everything. But I guess that is my shadow. It is all of my shame combined. It's all of it in one box. And I guess I can't just talk to the whole thing. Like, I need to talk to little snippets of my shame every single day, and that's what's going to be happening for the rest of my life. I can't solve all of the shame all at once. I can't get rid of all of it all at once. And I'm like, what the fuck is the title of this video, right? And I also want to bring people in. I want people to listen to this. I want people to hear it. I want to get their feedback. I want to feel like I'm not alone. But unfortunately, it's not going to go exactly how I would like it to be. And that's something else I have to accept. So I might not come up with an interesting title. And even if I do feel like I do have an interesting title to put on this, doesn't mean I'm going to get clicks, doesn't mean people are going to watch, doesn't mean people are going to actually listen and I'm going to hold their attention, you know? I just, I would like that one viral video. I've made, I believe this is the 94th video, my 94th long video. I hope one of these reaches a lot of people, but I don't know how that's going to happen or when that's going to happen or if it's ever going to happen. It might simply not. It might be something that I end up letting go of, this concept of trying to reach a bunch of people. Because I have to ask myself that question, why do I want to reach a bunch of people? I am an emotionally starved human being. I have these feelings about myself that I will never be all the way heard. And even if I reached every single person on the planet, it wouldn't be enough. Because that's the thing. It's like, oh, I was about to say 1 million people. No, if I reached every single ear and somehow all of my English that I'm speaking right now was translated into every single language on earth and my message reached the entire globe, it wouldn't be good enough for me. And I don't know why I'm so unsatisfied. I don't get it. Because I have so many different aspects of my life that I would like to be explored and cherished and to be heard, but there are going to be so many different aspects of my life that go unheard. There's going to be so many dreams and aspirations that I won't be able to meet. There's going to be so many things that I just simply won't be able to achieve in this short life that I have. And I'm trying to accept all of these things. And I'm struggling to do so every single day of my life. And I'm happy right now that I actually ended up just trying to not care as much about the audience or who's listening or any of that kind of shit. I'm just simply trying to, like, be myself and not worry about that right now that much. Yeah, I'm really trying. I might be by myself for a while. I might be by myself for I don't know how long or whatever. But I'm just trying to accept that. Just trying to accept that. All right, well, anyways, there it is. Until, goodbye.